Hey guys, Zix here. Time for another episode of Skyblock from the Minesaga server. It is time, it is finally time to show you guys the secret. Show you the trick. I kind of showed it a little bit in the last episode when I kind of mentioned why isn't the penguin there, and then I was like, oh, he's probably down here. But why should I expect there to be a penguin? Well, time to let you guys in on a little secret. Oh no, I have to condense again. Oh, I can't wait for that condense wand. Anyway, time to let you guys in on a little secret on how this works, what this is, and most of the top competitors are using it. I want to do a special little notation here. Oh, I still have shaders off. Whatever. I still want to do a little note here that it's possible you're watching this in the future and this has changed. So don't kill me in the comments. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. There is a possibility. What is with this placeholder stuff inside there? Points placeholder. Anyway, it's possible that Gullible sees this and wrecks it, and it no longer works. So I'm going to tell you what you need to make it work. Then I'm going to give you a basic idea of how it works and why it's obscenely OP. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. First things first, you need at least 4 accounts. 4 accounts. 3 alts that have a penguin, and 1 more account, typically your main. You don't really want to do this with your main because then you can't really play, and it would be very difficult to do it without console client. What is happening? So, as many of you know, this guy only lasts about 20-25 minutes, and then he goes away. So, what happens if you change island owner to somebody else, and then that person runs penguin for 20 to 25 minutes? And then what happens if you do it again, 3rd time, and then that person runs a penguin? And then when that penguin runs out, it goes back to the first alt. That, my friends, is the trick. And this right here is why you see this guy up here and us down here. We had an 800 something, almost probably 1,000, close to 1,000 villager spawner head start on these guys. We were not aware of this. We always seem to be a step behind in this kind of thing. We did not know about this technique. From what I understand, they were using double penguin, not permanent. So they were bouncing between 1 alt and 2 alts, but that was double the penguin coverage that we had. So while we're doing pretty good, they were double productivity. It's only going to take so long for them to catch up to us. Now, this is my assumption. It's possible they had another trick up their sleeve that I have no idea about, and it just is what it is. But this is what we believe is the reason why we beat so handily. Oh my gosh, hold on 1 second. World's most annoying dog. Anyway, so yeah, pretty sure that's how they beat us. And while we dominated Outpost pretty handily, like day 1 and day 2, nobody else really seemed to care. They dominated it a lot more than we did in the first couple of weeks, and of course, the Outpost helps. And then we got our boosters, but they ooh, how do you lose to an Ender Mage? Come on, Saga, it's pay to win. How do you lose to an Ender Mage? Anyway, yeah, I lost my train of thought now. Another person killed by an Ender Mage. I think people are AFKing on their island, and an Ender Mage is flying around killing them. I think that's pretty funny. Anywho, so yeah, basically how this works. You have 3 alts. 2 of them cannot have an island. 1 of them obviously is going to start the island. It's important to change the perms on each account as the island owner. It's kind of annoying, but like for example, if Zixalt's penguin was out, I wouldn't be able to place and update spawners because I never changed the perms on him. I only changed the perms on Alt Jemima and Def Stony, not the third alt. So I can I can pick up spawners and do stuff on this one, but I never changed the perms on Zixalt. So what happens is now Alt Jemima is out right now. Right now, Alt Jemima is calling a script. 4 girls, 2 cups. Wow. Is going to call a script that's going to co-op me. See, it's either Alt Jemima made you a co-op until blah, 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 blah. Now the console client window for Alt Jemima, it's going to say Zixter was made a co-op player until you log out or expel him. When the script sees that, it calls Penguin. If the penguin's hunger dies, you see your creature has despawned due to low hunger. That will load up another script that invites Def Stony to the island, makes Def Stony the leader, and of course on the other script there's something looking for Alt Jemima has invited you to join their island, in which case it has is accept, and then it waits a second, and then is accept again, because you have to do it twice, I think. Well, we'll dig into the script in a little bit. And then Def Stony gets made the leader. Alt Jemima leaves the island. That one I know you have to do twice. And now Def Stony will co-op me. And then Def Stony will call the penguin because I'm online, and I get the co-op script. Now, if you don't want to use your main for the co-op part, you don't have to. You could use a 4th alt and just, IP freely kind of a situation here. Because people have crazy names for their alts. Anyway, I just prefer to use my main because my main has to be co-opted anyway. But there's been a few times where I've forgotten to put my main on console client before I go to bed, and at 11 o'clock the server reboots and I'm in the hub, and now I'm not calling Penguin all night long. That's happened a couple times, and it's a little frustrating. But I've gotten into a better groove where I am making sure my main goes on console client on the PS, which is another thing. If you guys are interested in a tutorial on how to set up a VPS for your alts, by all means, let me know. Happy to help. Either way, with which VPS I use and which programs I use to access said VPS. Anyway, so that is the basics of how it goes. But like I said, you could use an alt instead. You don't have to use your main for the 4th account. Just keep in mind that that alt has to own an island. To be co-opted, you have to own an island. Otherwise, it does not work. Okay. Originally, I was going to... There's probably so much overflow down there since this is not condensed. Hello? Originally, I was going to do like a side-by-side. Yeah, fair enough. I was going to do like a side-by-side comparison. How much money it makes with permanent penguin compared to just one penguin for an hour. Well, there's a lot of mail in there. I can't hit the button, though, because I can't do mail read because I have coupons in there. Coupons. Although they'll probably be spent by the time this airs. But whatever. What was I going to say? Something about overflow? I don't know what I was going to... Oh, yeah, I was going to do a side-by-side comparison. But I decided not to. I mean, it's pretty obvious this is pretty OP. And I think that this is a loophole. Oh, that's right. I wanted to talk about my feelings on it before we go into how to do it. And it won't take long to show you guys what to do. And I'm going to provide the files as well, just like I usually do. Get out of my way, pillar spawners. I think that people able to find loopholes and ways around the system to get an advantage, I don't think it should be allowed. I don't think something like this should be allowed. We grinded so hard. We put so much effort into last round to get the advantage that we had. Nobody put in the hours we did. Only to have somebody that's better at programming scripts and is smarter than us on finding loopholes to come behind and just completely defeat our whole advantage that we built up all round long. We were smart enough to buy points early, while everyone else is like, you guys are crazy for buying points so early. We were smart enough to do that, and we got an income advantage by grinding harder than anybody else on the server, just to come on to reset and have it completely wiped away because we didn't think of a loophole. And and I'm not saying that JBM's team are like cheap or unfair or they can only win with loopholes. These guys are pretty good otherwise. Well, they've beaten us their fair share of times when we were on a level playing field, so I'm not trying to dismiss anything that they did. And besides, they're not the originators of this script anyway. I don't really know where it came from, to be honest. But it was given to me, and I had to change it. But we'll get into that in the next bit here. But you know, they got the inside scoop and they used it and they beat us. And it doesn't look like we're gonna catch them at all. This isn't real. We would actually be number 2 if we actually were trying. We're just, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's real. It's what we are. We're position 4. We thought maybe they might go for 2 spots, so we did levels. Otherwise, we'd probably be here, and Dixie probably would have beaten us. I don't remember. Were we 400 million or were we 200 million? It doesn't really matter. We have the capability of being second place. We don't have the capability of beating them. But I mean, when you sit back and think about it, and this is the trap that they got stuck in last round. We were first and they were second pretty much the entire round, and they kept trying to keep up with us to get the $75 BC to boost, but we're doing $150 BC to boost while they're only doing 74. That's 75. That's not sustainable. Whoops. That is just simply not sustainable. So we had to try something else. And I mean, it's a long shot, really. But, you know, whatever. And also, we've had a few people kind of give up. So we don't have as big of a team as we did originally. In fact, they might actually have more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting their active players. 6, 7, 8. They have 8 active players now. I don't consider Sloth active, or else I would have said 9. And the rest are alts. Let's see. What do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 active players now. So they actually have more a bigger team than we do. Even if some of them are mostly PvPers, they have more players than us now, which is a difference from last round. Last round, we had more players. We had like 8 or 9, and they had like 3. So, I mean, it's a significant difference. But either way, it doesn't matter. Okay, I don't think this should be allowed. I hope Gullible changes his mind. He's already been told about this. I don't know if he realizes the extent of it. But I don't know. It just feels like a loophole that shouldn't be allowed to me. But if I'm going to have the advantage, if other people are going to have the advantage, I think everybody else should be able to have the advantage as well. And that's why right now I am going to go ahead and show you guys how to do it. Right back. And we are back. Okay, so when you download the files, you're going to get a folder called Penguins. Looking like this: Alt 1, Alt 2, and Alt 3. Obviously, you're going to rename them to whatever alt you have. Like Billy and Jack a offer, and maybe Pamela Henderson. Okay. Of course, you're going to rename them to the names of your alts, and then you're going to go in here and you're going to go into the AFK. And you're going to change your username and your pass. Well, really, it's your email and your pass, but whatever, you know what to do. The next thing, so a little tip, as you're going through these, if you search Alt 1 and you hit Enter, what? Will do nothing. Why? Why did it do nothing? Oh, because Alt 1's not in here. Alt 2, on the other hand, is. It will tell you which folders have the stuff that you need to change. So we're in IP Freely is Alt 1 and Jack Mayhofer is Alt 2. We would go to co-op and see how it says send is co-op main. You're going to change that to either your 4th alt or your main. This is a script that will put the alt back in their AFK spot on the spawners. You can change this if you have a different home address, or I mean, you don't need to do this. It doesn't matter. Invite leader. Now, see, this is a little more complicated. You're sending an invite to alt 2 or Jack may offer, then you need to wait 5 seconds because alt 2 in this matches script is waiting for that invitation. And it's gonna do is accept, and then it's gonna wait a second and do this. So that's why we're waiting 5 seconds here. Then we're gonna make the alt 2 the leader. Then we're gonna wait a second. We're gonna leave. We're gonna wait a second, leave, and then we're gonna wait a second, and we're gonna reset our home back to where it belongs. Need to touch kick messages. This is not even being used anymore. Matches. This is the more complicated one. The person that I got this script from has all this stuff in. It doesn't really work. At least I don't know how to make it work. So I've just kind of ignored it. It has my name Zix in here, so you might want to change that. I've already uploaded the file, so I'm not going back and changing it. Anyway, this will transfer a key to you. And then here's the heart of the script here. Alt 3 has invited you to join their island. Now this is Alt 1, which means Alt 3 is going to reconnect to Alt 1, and then you're going to is accept, and then that automatically will join the island. And then your creature has despawned due to low hunger. This is the one, invite leader.text, the one we looked at up here. This is the one that will change island owner. And now this one is the one that calls the script. And then this very last one, for some reason, doesn't work. So I just left it. This is actually left over from the previous creator of this script before I changed everything. And so I just never bothered to do anything. For some reason, the last match on this page does not work, so I just kind of left it here. So just ignore this. You don't have to change this. You could leave it alt 2, or you could put alt 2 in there if it makes you feel better. Script leave is not ever getting called. This does not get called. For some reason, this does not work. Whoa! Whoa! And so I briefly talked about how I changed this script. Originally, this was timing based to where you'd log one alt, wait 8 minutes or something like that, and then log the other alt for 16 minutes or whatever the timing was. And they would just every 16 minutes or whatever they would change. They would change owners, island owners, and that to me just felt so inefficient and crappy. I had to change it. I had to fix it. So I changed it to it changes is owner when the creature has despawned to low hunger, and this has worked 100% of the time. Especially with the other script. I mean, if your alts get hubbed and they all go back onto the server at the same time, you're not going to have that timing delay. They're going to be trying to call. You're going to see 2 penguins out at the same time. So if you're using that old script and you haven't seen this much better one that I created, you're going to want to go ahead and change that. So that file is done. Don't save. I didn't actually change anything. Oop, nope, not that one. We're going to edit this one. Of course, you could do your login password here if you're going to be loading this from a Linux server. You would be opening Minecraft client, so you wouldn't be using the AFK. But since I'm on Windows, I'm using AFK. I don't need this. However, this still, you need to put in here, this right here. Make sure you change to the appropriate server that you are playing on. Otherwise, it's going to try to put you onto Jurassic when maybe you're on a different realm. And there's some sort of hangman game in here, but I never bothered with it. And I don't see it anywhere. I don't see hangman, so don't worry about it. Penguin, you don't have to touch. It just sends creature penguin. Realm, you're going to want to make sure you change this one as well to Jurassic, depending on the realm you are on. This one is if you're going to use this alt as a Sellbot as well, which you're more than welcome to do so. This is how you can increase the efficiency of your Sellbot. The wait one is very important. It will not work unless you do that. I have these pound signs because I'm not using cellbots. So if you find yourself in a situation where you want that, make sure you remove those pound signs. I don't know, do anything in here. Yeah, no, we don't need to touch anything in here unless you want to mess around with the timing. So yeah, okay. Next, we would now need to go into the next alt and then do this all over again. And for here, like I said, you could type Alt 3. See where Alt 3 is. You could type main, and you could see all the files that have the word main in it that you need to change. And you could type Alt 1, and there will only be one, but Alt 1, it'll show you where that one is. So you're just going to go through and you're going to change Alt 1 to IP Freely, you're going to change Alt 2 to Jack Mayhofer, and Alt 3 to Pamela Henderson in all of these files until you get it right. Then you could just load them. I'm not going to load them because there's nothing in here. This is just this user pass. And don't forget to do this or else it's not going to work at all, for sure. And then that, my friends, is going to get you Permanent Penguin. Keep in mind, if one of your alts has 250 hoppers and the other alts do not, you're going to have issues transferring ownership. So make sure you only have 100 total hoppers on the island, or else bad things are going to happen. But it's just not going to work. But I think that's more or less. You can hear my villagers in the background. I left Minecraft open. I think that's more or less it. I hope I covered everything. Of course, in here, there's still going to be terrain and movements. But this is default set to true, so you won't have to change that. Now, if you don't worry about that and you want to use less RAM, which can be important on VPSs that have a lot of accounts, by all means set that to false. I just keep it true because while it uses more RAM, CPU, and bandwidth, it's like in the kilobyte range of how much more it uses. It doesn't really concur me. And if you have any questions or concerns or general comments, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this ridiculous loophole that should not be allowed. I'd love for anybody that has a line with Gullible to say, hey, watch this video. Not because I'm trying to get extra views, but because I don't think this should be allowed. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think stuff like this should be legal. I think it should be disallowed. Come on. But either way, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so very much for watching. And as always,